Hey everyone, you know me, Ted Santos. Straight talk, you know that talk show made for men by men, except ladies, not even you want to miss it, even if you don't like all the things that we say. And so, if none of you caught my show yesterday, we're in November, and look at this. I'm in shorts, I'm in a t-shirt, and I'm out in the woods where I like being. A little bit of Tarzan, a little bit of caveman, and it's 70 something degrees and we're just about in the middle of November. So no complaints, enjoying it. We have a few more days of this. So I'm taking advantage of it. And as you can see, the leaves are already changing colors and falling off the trees. So if you saw my show yesterday, the topic was, and I like asking questions, do quality men, men of means, high caliber men, do they like fat girls? And I understand some guys may be upset, maybe your mother was fat, maybe your girlfriend is fat now or your wife, and some guys like that. I understand that. But most guys said no. And the interesting thing is women believe that, oh, well, if I'm fat, you're going to be embarrassed by me. And so it's way more than that. And I made a big point, and I'm not sure if people fully caught it. So the reason I wanted to do this talk today is because when you do get fat, it affects way more than just your physical health and your longevity, your ability to live a long, healthy life. And I talked about, I didn't use the word mindset, but it really does. Your mindset affects you getting fat. So just imagine, I'm going to give you an analogy. Imagine if someone says, hey, I want to win the gold medal in the Olympics. And I say, well, just run faster than everyone else. That's not really good advice. Run faster than Usain Bolt and you'll win the gold medal. So most people, the, how many people run faster than Usain Bolt? So telling you to just run faster is poor advice. And the problem is, when we were talking about, um, all the things that being obese, being overweight does and the negative impact just to the woman and into the relationship. And if you're an incubator having children, what negative impact does that have on them? Well, women were like, just give us solutions. Well, that's like telling you to run faster than Usain Bolt. So what does it take to run faster than Usain Bolt? And you might think as well, you just have to have a passion about it. So I really want to get into how the mind affects decisions you make. And so it's very interesting. And I had already read papers on how doctors were starting to discover how people who withhold love tend to be susceptible to diabetes, for example. So ultimately, doctors are moving in a direction and saying, hey, maybe diseases are not just the result of, they're not just these germs, they're not just bad food. They may actually be a mindset that is at the foundation of poor health, of diseases. That if we could get to, and this would be, I guess the pharmaceutical companies wouldn't like it, because if you could train your mindset to be healthy, then you'd have a better chance of having a healthier body. So I did some poking around and I found some very interesting articles to support some of this. And, so I wanted to talk today about how your mindset can literally destroy your life. Now, I'm going to give you a short version, a compressed version of this. I went into this in much greater detail. I read more of the papers and that talk specifically about the mindset and how we, you could say, train our little girls to have a certain mindset that is crushing their health. So I spoke yesterday about how if you gain weight, you compress your internal organs, you you diminish your body's ability to effectively pump blood, which now you're diminishing your brain's uh, optimal capacity to function, and that's going to cause you to make poor decisions. And you'll make poor decisions about food, about the people you're around, about being a single parent. You know, there'll be a plethora of poor decisions. So as a man, and if I'm aspiring to be affluent, I've got, you know, a high flying career or company. The last thing I want in my life is a woman who has a string of poor decisions. And the first place I'm going to see that is looking at her body and how does she take care of herself. I mean, if she doesn't care about her own physical and mental health, how is she going to care about about me as a husband or the children? And if her internal organs are not functioning well, then planning my sperm in her to have children, she's not going to have the best environment to incubate a child. So now my child may have all kinds of inherent illnesses, which diminishes my child's chances for success and finding a mate of their choice. So why would I choose a woman who's is going to, instead of giving my child a head start, is going to start my child off in life with a deficit? And then if you raise a child as a single mother, just forget about it. It's even worse. So, uh, you know, I read some very interesting articles. I'll put some links below. But one of them is, how do your thoughts and feelings affect your health? Your brain produces substances that can improve your health. These substances include endorphins, which are natural painkillers, and gamma globulin, which strengthens your immune system. Research shows that what your brain produces depends in part on your thoughts, feelings, and expectations. If you're sick, but you have hope and a positive attitude and your belief that you'll get better, your brain is likely to produce chemicals that will boost your body's healing and power. Negative thoughts and emotions can keep your brain from producing some of the chemicals that help your body heal. But this doesn't mean you should blame yourself for getting sick or feeling down about a health problem. Some illnesses are beyond your control, but your thoughts and state of mind are resources you can use to get better. So this is saying right out the gate, your body has certain innate abilities to help your healing process and maintain health throughout. Except your body has to be structured in a way that it's able to optimally operate, which means not compressing your organs so your body can't function normally. And it also talks about um, how stress. There was a psychologist. Her name is Dr. Aaliyah Crum, psychologist at Stanford University, and they did some uh, sort of experiments, studies in a number of different companies where the companies were either downsizing or they were merging and some jobs were going to be lost. And they broke people up into groups. And in this group, they're told that, hey, you know, you're going to kind of have to suck it up and it's going to be tough and stressful. And in this group, they said, hey, stress is good. You can leverage your stress, and stress secretes certain kinds of biochemicals that are healthy and good for you. So these people who were told to suck it up made poorer decisions and they had poorer health as a result of the stress. And these people learn how to leverage the stress just by being sort of trained and given tools to have a healthier mindset. So how does that affect women? So imagine, from little girls, we're telling little girls that all men want to do is control, dominate. They're going to get you pregnant, keep you in the kitchen and in the bedroom, and that is all men are going to do to you. They're going to restrict what you can do. You won't be happy. They're being told this, and that is creating stress. Now imagine the stress that it's in the chemicals, biochemicals that it's secreting that are negatively impacting that woman's health, her digestive system. There are papers that show how a digestive system, especially on women, they did a study with over 100,000 women, but I talk about that more in my Patreon account. So we are killing girls, and they grow up to be women who are stressed about men. They're scared, they're terrified, and then you get these Lifetime television movies that just reinforce that that the good-looking guy who's well-educated is going to kill you and chop your body up, and he's an axe murderer. I mean, we are causing women to be so afraid of life and self, and the negative impact that it's having on the body and their ability to make decisions is hurting them. And they're seeing men as the enemy, so they're coming out the gate before they even ever have a relationship. They already have an enemy who's never done anything wrong to them, which will have them mistreat men. And what do you think is going to happen? You're going to get a self-fulfilling prophecy. So listen, there is way more. I did a lot more research on this, and I talk about mindset in this Patreon video, and some of the things that you can do. So if you haven't joined me on Patreon, support me. Come over to Ted Santos on Patreon. You'll find a whole bunch of videos that I've never put up on YouTube or anywhere else, where I give some really good tips on mindset, on leadership, on a bunch of other things. And then some of these videos that I have had on YouTube, I took them off and put them on Patreon. So if you are not subscribing to my channel, subscribe to it, hit the bell, like. I want to hear your comments. If you don't like what I said, I want to hear why. So like my channel, subscribe, share it. And both men and women need to hear this kind of stuff. Men, you need to hear it. And I get deeper into that into the Patreon account. So I thank you for your support. And I look forward to your comments. And hey, on Straight Talk on Sunday nights, I always do some really thought-provoking shows. So be there to join me. And thanks a lot, guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Goodbye.